The name is Hans. Israel Hans. Hello, film lovers, and welcome, or indeed welcome back to Hands on Film. Today we'll be opening the vault and getting our hands on the icon that is James Bond 007 in Casino Royale. Today, we shall be taking an in-depth dive into a benchmark chapter of the Bond series, a piece that many describe as a genre-defining moment in... Ben, are you all right? You're looking a little queasy.
Oh, yes, Israel. I'm just finding the fact that we share the same opinion about this film a little jarring.
Yes, well, I'm pleased to hear it. I was beginning to think you had no taste at all. I mean, look at that jumper.
Israel, could you please just introduce our guest?
Ah, yes. With us today we have a certified nut.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry, I mean a Bond nut.
Izzy, our guest is a little more than a Bond nut.
Really?
Yes, I am a lecturer of film studies at the South Hampshire Institute of Technology University. For my PhD thesis, I focused on the spy genre, and I'm currently writing a paper on the Bond series of films.
Anyway, Ben, there is actually one issue.
Of course there is.
You've put the wrong image up.
No, I haven't.
Oh, yes, you have.
That is a promotional image for Casino Royale. What did you want? Daniel Craig in his swimming shorts?
Well, that would have been preferable. But I decided that it would be more entertaining and informative to discuss the original.
The 1967 film?
Oh, yes, the film that launched 1,000 ships.
That makes no sense. Regardless, we discussed this last week.
Yes, I know. But I decided the original Casino Royale is a far more stimulating subject for review than that modern Daniel Craig fluff.
I'd hardly call it modern. It's over 16 years old.
Exactly. All the more reason to review the original version.
Ben, why are we changing the film? I've prepared for a discussion on the 2006 Casino Royale.
Yes, I can only apologise for Israel.
I suspect you spend a lot of your time doing that.
You would not believe the half of it.
Oh, what's wrong? Haven't you seen the original one, Professor?
Doctor. And I am currently working on a research project focused on the representations of the James Bond character against current ideals of masculinity. So to answer your question, yes, I have seen this pretense of a film.
Someone has a rather inflated opinion of themselves.
Ben, I didn't come here to be insulted.
Probably in the wrong place, then.
Israel didn't mean to cause offence. Did you, Israel? Israel!
Of course not.
There we are. Shall we get cracking with the summary?
Yes, well, here goes nothing. So, the year is 1967 and EDF have Sean Connery running around as James Bond, but a chap called Charles is clinging on to the rights of Ian Fleming's first Bond novel, Casino Royale. Deciding not to directly compete with the Eon, Charles takes a different route, and we are introduced to Sir James Bond, played by David Niven, who is forced out of retirement by M and several other high-ranking world intelligence officials when, for some reason, they decide to blow his mansion up. So now, Sir James is back, and his first assignment is to travel to the Highlands to impart the news of M's untimely death to his widow and daughters. A pretty pathetic assignment for a man at the top of his game, like expecting me to make my own tea.
Well, M died. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched this, but I don't remember that.
Yes, well, you need a certain level of creative excellence to fully understand the form, Ben.
What I think he's trying to say...
I know what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much.
...is that there are parts which make absolutely no sense at all. Probably because there are at least 6 directors and no one knew what the hell was going on.
If you don't mind, I am the host. So, Bond arrives at M's castle, but M's family have been replaced by enemy agents that attempt to seduce and corrupt him, but they are thwarted when their leader, played wonderfully by the formidable Deborah Kerr, falls in love with Bond. Bond travels back to London and endures a near-deadly high street chase.
With a milk float.
You make it sound ridiculous.
It is starting to sound like a panto.
He's behind you. Anyway, Bond escapes and arrives at MI5 headquarters, where he and Moneypenny draft a plan for a new anti-female spy device.
Isn't Peter Sellers in this?
Who?
You know, the Pink Panther films. Inspector Clouseau.
So, Bond meets up with the glamorously wealthy former spy, Ursula Andress. Ursula tracks down a professional Bukaki, some card player played by, as Bryony said, Inspector Jacques Clouseau.
Well, I didn't say that.
No need to be modest. Anyway, Ursula Andress offers Inspector Clouseau a £100,000 stake to play cards with Le Chef.
Don't you mean Le Chiffre?
Ben, I know it's been a while since you watched the film, so better leave it to us two experts. Inspector Clouseau has to change his name to James Bond.
So hang on. There are two James Bonds in this film. I mean, won't that get...
Confusing, bewildering, utterly mind-numbingly ridiculous.
For inferior minds, perhaps. Oh, like Ben. Next, Bond travels to India to track down an illegitimate daughter he had with Harry Carey, and then sends her and Bernard Cribbins to infiltrate a spy school in East Germany that is run by Ronnie Corbett.
Izzy, did you fall asleep and wake up watching another movie?
No, that all happens.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Too much for one James Bond, as the tagline goes. Next, we return to Inspector Clouseau, who lands in France with his big card game with Le Chef.
Who, incidentally, was played by Orson Welles. Peter Sellers wasn't a fan of Orson Welles showing off on set, and this apparently caused many walkouts from Sellers.
What the hell are you talking about?
Just trying to expand the discussion.
Well, can we save that until the end? We are still on the synopsis.
Izzy, perhaps we could just wrap it up.
Inspector Clouseau wins the card game and is randomly executed by Ursula Andress for no reason whatsoever and never referenced again.
I didn't see that coming. Is that the end?
Sadly, no.
Bond's daughter is kidnapped by the awesome Dr. Noah and taken to Casino Royale.
Dr. Noah? No, I thought Le Chiffre was the bad guy.
Who?
Oh, Le Chef.
Oh, no, they killed him off too.
Dr. Noah is played by none other than Woody Allen.
Who has captured another female agent and is smothering her with unwanted sexual advances.
No comment.
You don't need to keep saying no comment, just keep your mouth shut. Anyway, by this point, all the remaining MI5 agents now have been given the codename James Bond 007. The female agent, who has some very impressive big hair, feeds Dr. Noah an exploding pill, meaning that in 4 minutes' time there will be a very big bang. All mother of hell breaks loose in the final battle scene. Cowboys, Native Americans, Keystone Cops, dogs, chimps, sea lions, laughing gas, rocket-propelled arrows, and scantily clad gold-painted women all play a part in the final battle, which culminates in a huge explosion that destroys the casino and kills all the main characters. The end.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's definitely an ending, all right.
Can we discuss this now?
Sure, let's dive right in. Bryony?
I loved it. Well, it perfectly captures the essence of Fleming's Bond.
Well, quite frankly, the entire film makes a mockery of the lore of James Bond. Even the credits state the story was merely suggested by Fleming's book.
Well, the cast list is rather impressive, though. Ursula Andress, David Niven, Orson Welles, Woody Allen, Inspector Clouseau.
That is true, and not to mention some utterly bizarre uncredited cameos from Peter O'Toole and Sterling Moss.
Who?
And apparently this is the film debut of Angelica Houston, who was a hand double because her father was one of the many directors. In fact, you do really have to have a level of respect for this film.
I told you it was good.
No, I mean it takes real skill to have a cast this good and still f it up this badly. By all accounts, Sellers' erratic behaviour caused several directors to walk out, pushing filming back months and making the project go hugely over budget.
Yes, well, I can well understand how difficult it is when a creative maestro like myself has to deal with a talentless functionary like Ben.
You're siding with Sellers.
Who?
Inspector Clouseau.
About what?
Oh, any positives, Bryony?
It does have a very good soundtrack. I mean, you can't argue with a Burt Bacharach written soundtrack featuring Herb Alpert and the Tuano Brass and Dusty Springfield.
Precisely. Bond at its finest.
But you can't dismiss the fact that the franchise has come a long way since the 60s.
Oh, I know. I do remember Die Another Day.
Thankfully, no one is talking about that today. In the last 10 years, the Bond movies have killed off M.
They killed off M in Casino Royale.
In No Time to Die, we had Bond's daughter.
Casino Royale had Bond's daughter.
And a female 007.
Casino Royale had plenty of female 007s.
And they killed James Bond.
In Casino Royale, they killed all the James Bonds. Anything else?
Oh, you are a f***ing idiot. Never in my life have I met someone so pig-headedly arrogant whilst being so completely f***ing childish. Ben, you can keep the 20 quid. I'm off.
I liked her. Do you think she'll come back and review Dr. Noah with us?
Can we please just sum up?
Certainly. If you like your films to have a brilliant cast, a quirky yet beautiful mise-en-scene, a wonderfully 60s soundtrack, and a plotline that will leave you stirred, not shaken, then Casino Royale is the James Bond for you.
The 1967 one?
Yes, the 1967 one.
Right. And we're clear.
Did you say she was getting £20? Where's my £20?
You want £20? What about your wine budget?
Oh, it's just a little glass here and there.
And the meals, the theatre trips, the random and frankly disturbing clothing you keep billing to
sorry. Oh, Bryony. Hi. Yes, lunch would be... What are the odds?
Moron.